Dear students, today we will talk about rotating frames. And while discussing rotating frames, we basically arrive at the expressions for Coriolis force and centrifugal force, right? So we have a rotating frame of reference, and of course, we define every non inertial frame with respect to an inertial frame of reference. So here we have a rotating frame of reference, right? And for the sake of simplicity, what we did is that we choose to coincide the origins of the two reference frames. Therefore, if we choose any point P in the space of inertial frame or in the space of non-inertial frame, its radius vector or its position vector is essentially going to be the same, right? Only its coordinates with respect to inertial frame and non-inertial rotating frame will be different. Now, how can we define this R vector? This R vector obviously can be defined by xi plus yj plus zk as usual. But if we have to define the same R vector in case of a rotating frame of reference, which is a non-inertial frame of reference, we will proceed as R vector is equal to x dash I dash cap plus y dash j dash cap plus z dash k dash cap, right? Now, x dash, y dash and z dash are the coordinates of this point in the rotating frame of reference. But remember, I have also chosen to change I, j and k as the direction vectors because once the frame is rotating, the directions of x, y and z are continuously changing. Therefore, I cannot choose to keep them constant as I, j, k. Instead, I have to write I dash, j dash and k dash. Now, the velocity obviously will be given by dr by dt, and let us differentiate it. That will be dx dash by dt I dash cap plus dy dash by dt j dash cap plus dz dash by dt k dash cap. And since these are also varying, we also need to differentiate them. So it will be x dash times di dash by dt plus y dash times dj dash by dt plus z dash times dk dash by dt, right? So this will be dr by dt, of course in a frame of reference which is rotating, right? Now what is this? This we can write as d by dt of, what is this, xi, yj and zk. Of course this is the radius vector in case of the rotating frame of reference, and that is r. So let us name this rotating frame of reference as a and the fixed frame of reference as b, right? Now we know that r is a common choice between a and b, so here I can choose to write b. It doesn't matter whether we define r here and r here because the distance is essentially the same. So here I choose the frame of reference b, here it is the frame of reference a, plus these three terms, one term, another term and another term. But for these terms I would like to do specific certain modifications. And what are those? We know that radial, this velocity and linear velocity and radial velocity are related by this expression, right? So this is actually dr by dt is equal to omega cross r, right? So for r I can keep substituting this. So can I write in analogy with the same that di dash by dt is omega cross I dash, right? So dj dash by dt is equal to omega cross j dash, right? And dk dash by dt is equal to omega cross k dash cap. So this is in analogy with this expression. So once I substitute these values here in this expression, so what do I get? So I get this dr by dt in the frame of reference b. Remember, b is the frame of reference which is at rest, that is the inertial frame of reference. This is equal to dr by dt in the frame of reference a plus these terms. Remember, these three terms. But for these three terms, I'm going to make these substitutions. Therefore, for di dash by dt, dj dash by dt, dk dash by dt, I'm going to substitute these three things, right? So what do I get is that omega will be taken as common, and inside we are left with xi dash, yj dash, and zk dash. So omega will be a common factor. I'm writing it in short. So it will be x dash I dash plus y dash j dash plus z dash k dash, right? Now what is this x dash I dash, y dash j dash, and z dash k dash? It is again the r vector in the rotating frame of reference. So this is, in all, what do we obtain? We obtain dr by dt in a frame of reference B is equal to dr by dt in a frame of reference A plus omega cross r, right? Now what is this? This is essentially velocity in the frame of reference B. This is velocity in the frame of reference A plus omega cross r. Remember this expression. Now from this expression, I can also choose to write it alternately in this way, that this is basically an operator equation. So if all of you are actually not aware of operators, please go to a previous video in which I have explained in detail about operators. But for the moment, actually, I need to tell you that operators are simply mathematical tools that operate on a function and change it to some another function. The simplest example that we can choose is that d by dx is an operator. It can operate on x square, on x cube, or any logarithmic function, or any exponential function. It can operate on different kinds of functions to change them into some other function, right? So such kind of a tool is called as an operator. Now once you find this equation, if you take r common, in all the three terms r is common. Therefore you are left with, let's go to second page. You are left with d by dt in a reference frame B is equal to d by dt in a reference frame A plus omega cross something. So we have taken r common. That means in place of this r, we can choose to write some other function. The way I told you that d by dx can be operated on any kind of function, right? This operator, this tool, this mathematical tool, it can be operated on different kinds of functions. Similarly, we are actually obtaining an operator equation, and we can implement that operator equation on any function, on any quantity, right? So the quantity of our interest is velocity. So we have already obtained that VB is equal to VA plus omega cross R. I'm talking about this expression, right? I'm talking about this velocity in the frame of reference B, velocity in the frame of reference A plus omega cross R. So let us put this value of VB in this operator equation. So I call it operator equation, right? Now let us substitute it. So it is d by dt of VB in the frame of reference B. Remember, notations are very important. So d by dt of VB in the frame of reference A plus omega cross VB, right? So let us expand this equation by substituting the value of VB from this. So d by dt of VB is obviously acceleration in the frame of reference B, right? Now this is d by dt. Here we cannot directly write that this is the value of acceleration, because then we are confused whether it is frame of reference A or B. Therefore, we have to expand it a bit further. Here it is no confusion. It is velocity in the frame of reference B. Therefore, we can easily say that it is acceleration in the frame of reference B. d by dt of VB in the frame of reference B, right? So that is AB very simply. But here we have to sort this thing by expanding VB, by giving it this value. So we will write d by dt of VA plus omega cross R in the reference frame A plus omega cross, what is VB? Again it is VA plus omega cross R, right? So it is AB. Actually we are done with this. D by dt of VA in the reference frame A. Now we can surely write that it is acceleration in the frame of reference A. Plus we have to differentiate it twice, first with respect to this and then with respect to this. So this is d omega by dt cross R in the frame of reference A plus omega cross dr by dt in the frame of reference A, plus this will be omega cross VA plus omega cross R, right? Remember, omega in this case is the velocity, the angular velocity with which this non-inertial frame is rotating. And we say that this is a uniformly rotating frame. Uniformly rotating, right? So omega is constant, just the way it is constant in case of Earth's rotation, right? Now, if omega is constant, this term will be 0. You are left with AB is equal to AA plus, this term will not be there. It will be omega cross VA rather, right? So we have another omega cross VA term here that will be written twice. It is twice omega cross VA plus omega cross R. If all of you have followed the previous lecture that was delivered yesterday, you will be easily able to identify these terms, right? So let us multiply this equation throughout by mass. So it is mass into acceleration in the frame of reference B, mass into acceleration in the frame of reference A, plus twice mass omega cross VA plus m omega cross R, right? So this is the force in the static frame of reference, that is inertial frame of reference, mass into acceleration. This is the force in the rotating frame of reference, that is non-inertial, right? Plus these two terms. I hope all of you are easily able to identify this with the Coriolis force and this with the centrifugal force, right? So because I am interested to find what is the force acting on a particle, the total force acting on an object in a non-inertial frame, I'll write Fn is Fi, whereby I mean inertial frame of reference, the frame of reference which is at rest, the frame of reference with respect to which we have defined the non-inertial frame of reference, right? So this will be minus, these two terms will be brought on this side, they will be minus 2m omega cross VA minus m omega cross R. If you want to write these terms in terms of magnitude only, we can also write m omega square R, that's all, right? So this is called as a Coriolis force and this is called as the centrifugal force. This is the fictitious force and this is the fictitious force. I've already explained to you people in detail in the yesterday's lecture that these are basically fictitious forces. They appear to act on a particle which is placed in a rotating frame of reference. This is the force which acts on the particle which is at rest with respect to the rotating frame of reference, and this is the force, fictitious force, which acts on a particle which is moving with respect to a rotating frame of reference. VA is the velocity of the object of the particle itself, omega is the angular velocity of the rotating frame, m is the mass of the particle or the object under consideration, and r is the position vector, the radial vector of the object under consideration with respect to the origin of the rotating frame, right? All of these quantities are very well known to you. So this is the expression for the force, net force. And then I don't need to go into the details of this because we have already done that in the previous video. So this was to give you a clear idea of how do we proceed about the derivation of expressions for forces for Coriolis force and for the centrifugal force. So that's all.